Good morning. How is everybody doing? Sorry I'm late. Happy Memorial Day. Today is a day in the USA that is set aside to celebrate those that made it possible for us to have the freedom we have today. So my name is Penny. Welcome to my car talk. If you're finding me for the first time, please like my page, and when you come in, share this video and invite your friends to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and invite your friends to watch some of the videos that I've been doing over the years. So I see emojis. That's good. We are all in this together. So today, I don't know how many watched my last video. I did a video about my brother wanting me to be deported. So that is the last video I did. And I planned to start talking about conflict resolution today, because after I gave you the whole story, of course, I wanted you guys to know today that whole story came up from us having conflict within the family. So when you have conflict, or rather when people have conflict, that's why we end up having all these problems that we end up having. And in some cases, we find ourselves in deadly situations with people because we're in conflict. So conflict is when you are having a disagreement or a serious disagreement with someone. Sometimes it's light, sometimes it is serious, and sometimes it is dangerous. You're just having this conflict that is exploding to something bigger than you really thought. So think about it, the last conflicts you had maybe in the past few days. What were those conflicts about? And why do we get into conflict? We get into conflict because we are different. Even twins who are born on the same day, same time, actually not the same time, maybe a minute later, don't do things the same. There's always going to be conflict, whether it's your place of work, whether it's your sister, your children. You're always going to have conflict. And as we are talking about conflict, I want to do something here. Where is the marker? I want to put this color. I think I like purple. I want to put this color right here. I'll put this X in purple. This is purple. Okay? I started with purple. Remember this color. When I'm done, remember this color, purple. I'll ask at the end what color I used to put that down, purple. Okay? So we are different. We are different because we come from different backgrounds. We come from different cultures. We do things, different. So regardless, even when you raise your children in your house, you're raising them the same way, these children end up turning out to be different. So regardless of the upbringing, regardless of the values that were instilled in you, you're going to have conflict. Conflict is an everyday thing. Conflict is at work. So today, what I wanted to talk about briefly, I plan to bring somebody who is a professional, a therapist, to really talk about this professionally. But as a regular talker, I just wanted to give you the highlights of what I think about conflict. And for those of you who don't know, I spent probably 20 years in the group home, and I chose to go into mental health, or not really specialize, but I was working with people with developmental disabilities. And in the process, I was able to go to different conferences because our job paid for us to go and learn how we are able to solve conflicts amongst us staff who are the caregivers of the client, or the clients. Because how the clients work in the group homes, when you're dealing with people with disabilities, we are looking for results. We are teaching them life skills. We do something called, we run through an IHP. An IHP is something called, it's an independent rehabilitation. What did I miss? The last one? Independent rehabilitation. I think it's progress. It's slipping my mind. So what we do when we clock into work every day, your job, after you greet them, you talk to them, your job is to help the clients, do the life skills they didn't learn. Because some of the clients we deal with, they were never taught how to use the bathroom. Some were never taught how to brush their teeth. Some were never taught how to make a meal. Some were never taught how to even make a bed. So I spent like over 20 years, in fact, trying to teach these clients so we can get results. And anytime you try to teach the client something, you get into conflict, okay? And if we can talk about diseases, the earlier you catch the conflict, the better result you get. Once you realize that me and Grace are in conflict, the earlier I realize that me and Grace are in conflict and I do something about it, the better you're going to solve that problem. Just like diseases, when people have cancer, they'll tell you, if we had found this disease on stage 1, we could have helped you. Stage 2, stage 3, a disease progresses with time. The earlier you catch a disease, the earlier you treat it. There's stages of treatment. The earlier you catch the conflict, the earlier you treat the conflict. Okay? So, for us, most of us, when we go to work, we know how, or not all of us, most of us are able to handle conflict a little easier. Why? Because we are trained, because we don't want to be fired, because that's where we are. But when we come to our personal life, that brother of mine I was talking about who denied me the green card, at his place of work, is a very high, powerful person. Believe me, when people come to his office and he has a conflict, he's not going to do what he did to me. It is so interesting that most of us, we are able to resolve our conflicts at work because we earn, but when we come to our home, we are not able to do the same. This is someone, if somebody knocks to his office, he's going to welcome you, he's going to listen to you, he's going to find a solution. He knows how to handle conflicts at work. But when it comes to his family, he doesn't have time, he doesn't have the patience. Why? Because we value our places of work more than we value our families. Okay? If you're at your place of work and your supervisor is telling you something you're not in agreement, you don't cast them out. But when you come home, your spouse is telling you, oh, you know, this, because that is your spouse, you cast them out. But you cannot cast your supervisors. So again, I want to give you an illustration before I continue. What happens with conflict? Let's talk about marriage for a minute. Okay? I meet my husband, we get married. Okay? I like purple. In a couple months, we go black. Okay? In a couple months, we add that. Okay? We wait again. We add that. We add blue. Okay? See, I have 3 colors. After like 6 months later, we decide, you know what? We are going to do... In fact, let me take this backwards. We are going to do another purple, but a different shade. Okay? And then, by the time he introduces me to his family, or something happens, red comes in. So red is going to come. We are going to draw this red. Red is going to be the fence for these stars. We put a circle around here. Okay? Put this together. And there's a red. So, you see, there's crazy madness going on here. So you marry someone, or you meet someone, you start dating, and you started here. You start with this X. This is number 1. You come to this, you come to that, you come to that. You're doing all these things. It's just the 2 of you. Before you know it, he introduces you to his family. Before you know it, you have children. Before you know it, you have finances. Before you know it, you have responsibilities, chores. Before you know it, you have sex dissatisfaction. You know, there are people who you can never satisfy them sexually. Before you know it, everything is wrong. Once everything starts going wrong, now we don't know what happened here. So if you're coming in and I ask you, what came first? You don't know. You see a red going around. You see the blue. Everything is going on. Now you're in conflict. So what happens with most of us, we've lost our marriages, we've lost our jobs, we lost our children, we lost our friends, we've lost our finances, we lost everything because we can never identify where the conflict started from. You don't know where the conflict started from. You're like, what happened? Okay, now you start finding out, where did this problem come from? Then you have to start finding a way to solve this problem. Where are you going to approach your spouse to solve this problem that is so much? Because we let it go too far. And when we get in conflict, instead of me just telling my husband that I'm not okay with this and I'm not okay with that, we explode. We put emotions. You understand? You're not clear on what you need. You just start saying, you know what? Oh, this is not it. And you start yelling at your husband. You start screaming at your children. You scream at your parents. You scream at your co-workers. In the process, you lose everything. When your in-laws come in, they don't know where this started. When your supervisor comes in, they don't know where that started. When your friends come in, you start telling them what your husband did. You don't tell them everything. You choose. You're one-sided. You choose. You don't tell them exactly where the chaos started. Where did this chaos start? Nobody knows where this chaos started from. Okay? You are like, what is happening here? So, you have to start learning to figure out where the conflict started. Where is this conflict getting us here? Where did we start? If my brother had figured out, like, you know what, he didn't even know we're in conflict. Maybe I knew we're in conflict because I'm thinking, like, what's happening? The conflict here was my father. Identify that conflict. Why are you in conflict? Why are you in this chaos? Accept that you are not agreeing with the other person. Accept you're not getting along with your co-worker. Accept you're not getting along with your children. Accept. What are the values that are leading you? Imagine this is my brother that we grew up with. We are brought up the same way. The teachings are the same. While you're trying to resolve the conflict, some of us lose ourselves. You lose yourself. Look at this chaos. You can't even know what happened. Some are straight, some are crooked. Okay? We are not able to see the positives. Once we get into conflict, we forget how we met our spouses. Once we are into conflict, we forget how we prayed God for these children. Once we're in conflict, we forget how bad we wanted the job after we applied for the job and they didn't call us. We are praying like, oh my God, I hope they call me. We always go to the negatives. We never remember the positive before we came into conflict. These friends of ours we have before you lost your friend. Remember the good times. Remember what brought you together as a spouse. Think of the positive things that you had. What was my brother thinking when he was trying to tell me that, you know what, you can come to America and go to school? Because he thought America was a great place. So once I got here, why did he think he needed to deport me because he had power over me? My other brother said to me, oh, we were in conflict. And he said to me, these words that, you never forget, oh, you thought we were always going to be poor, so we can always be under your mercies. Okay? Because now we're in conflict. He says the most hateful, painful things, so I don't have to stop me. Are you thinking positive? When you're in conflict, do you ever think that you need a positive result? Before you explode on your spouse, are you thinking of the ending? Before you explode on your child, are you thinking of what you want? For us at the job, for you to get a client to brush their teeth, there is always the first attempt, there's the second attempt, there's the third attempt. Independent rehabilitation plan, I remembered. Okay? Independent rehabilitation plan. Okay? Think about those things before you explode. If they refuse, If they refuse to brush their teeth, if they refuse to do whatever you're asking them to do, in some cases you do it for them. If you push it, and I want to speak to married people, you're in conflict. If you push it, you're going to involve your parents, you're going to involve the community, you're going to involve the police, you're going to involve another person because you're in conflict and the two of you are not able to stay calm to resolve the conflict. And when you bring a third person into your marriage, when you bring a fourth person into your marriage, when you bring the law enforcement into your marriage, they will never know what went down first. When somebody you're walking into this life right now. If I ask you, you just came in. Some of you are coming in, some of you are dropping. If I ask you right now in this kind of chaos, look at this t-shirt, and ask you, what color did I put down first? If you are not here from the beginning, you won't know what color went down first. You might start guessing what happened, but you cannot know what happened. I give you a perfect example for in-laws. Let me tell you about in-laws for a minute, and this is cultural. Your sister-in-law comes to your house, okay? My husband's sister comes into my house to stay with us. And when she comes into my house, because of culture, I want to talk about culture, a little culture conflict, how some things that put us where we are culturally related. It is part of the culture. The culture makes you think of things that are not realistic. So she comes there and she comes to her brother's house because in the African tradition, this is her brother's house. And yes, even for my husband, he knows this is my house, right? But you know what has happened, let's say for women nowadays? That house could be not your brother's house. It could be the house is under my name. It could be your brother is not working. You don't know what's happening. But when you come to my house, you come knowing that this is your brother's house and your brother is taking care of me. This happens in this country every single day. People migrate from Africa to come to America to their brothers' houses. It's rare for sisters to come. My sister can't come to my house and start thinking this is my house. My sister also comes to my house thinking this is my husband's house. Now, because you've not come to see my bills, you don't realize this house is my house. But because I love your brother, and maybe your brother lost his job, or maybe your brother is not able to work at this time, maybe your brother, I took responsibility. And I'm the one that is giving your brother shelter. Now your brother talks to me, oh, my sister wants to come. But because of culture, when the sister comes to my house, all of a sudden, she thinks this is the brother's house and she starts disrespecting me. And now we're in conflict. Before you know it, me and my sister-in-law are not talking. Why do most of the marriages fail? Because when your brother met me, I started with a purple. By the time your brother brings me to you, maybe a blue, or this has happened, or this has happened. A lot has happened. You don't know where your brother got me from. So when I come into that family, I'm coming into that family with a lot of scars. I'm from Nyando Chevere. My husband is from Winzau. I'm number 18 out of 21. My husband is number 3 out of 6. I'm coming from a polygamous family. My husband is coming from a single family where there is no polygamy. I'm a 7-day Adventist. My husband is a AIC. My husband used to go on vacation. I never saw vacation. My dad had formal meetings. His father had formal meetings. And when I was dating, I was very intentional about who I was dating. Because I spoke to people, I asked the questions, because I wanted to see how close are we in terms of values. So that way we don't have major conflicts. 7-day Adventist and AIC, those are 2 different days. When I met this man, I decided, you know what? I will switch. so we can raise the children on a Sunday. I made a conscious decision because you know what? I'm aware. I said he's a good guy. I'm going to take him anyway and switch to his church. And that's what I did. I was intentional. And I am blessed because I had a father that taught me what to look for, what to do. My father gave us that teaching that we needed. So when I was meeting a man, I needed to explain to the man that this is my background, this is what I'm looking forward to. And anytime I'm in conflict with my husband, I have to remember I'm from the village, I'm from Kisii, I'm from a polygamous family. I have to remember, anytime I'm talking to my husband, I have to remember so many things. Anytime we're in conflict, I must remind myself. Now, he's a Nairobi boy, meaning he's raised in the city. I'm raised in the village. In the village, we are so busy. We don't idle. We don't have time to sit. But people in the city have time to sit and play. In the village, there is so much work to do. Like now here, I have chicken, I have the vegetables. I have so much to do. So anytime when Friday hits, my husband wants to go see his friends. Jesus, I had to adjust to that because that's a conflict. I'm not used to that. I didn't see my father hanging out. So I don't know about a married man hanging out with the other men out there drinking. My father never drank. My husband drinks. My father never went to the club. My husband goes to the club. I went to the club. My mom didn't go to the club. Now, when I was looking for a husband, which is funny to other people, I wanted a husband that likes the club. It was like it was a very important thing to me. That is how much I loved, and I still love the club. I like to go dancing. So I use these examples because these are some things that I have done over the years that push me to come and talk to the young people who I'm passionate about. So now, my criteria is we are able to dance and we are able to drink and smoke. Remember, that's like a requirement. Imagine I'm thinking, hey, this is really good. So I meet this man and this is what's important to me. So we are clubbing. In fact, we were clubbing probably 3 to 4 years before we had the children. I loved the club. So he introduces me to his mother. I'm just giving you an example where the mother is a church woman, the father is a church elder, and the club is very important to me. So can you imagine, it didn't happen to me, but can you imagine if now, all of a sudden, if I was in Kenya, right, I'm living in Winzau, and then Friday comes, me, I'm all dressed up, I'm going to the club, then my mother-in-law is going to ask me, where are you going? So me, I'll be like, I'm going to the club. Then she's going to tell me, we don't do those club things here. Was she there when I started this? No. We started with this. I like the club. I like to smoke. I like to drink. Imagine those are important things for a girl my age at 19, 20. That's very important. So now, they come in and they want to change all these things. Jared, how are you? Kemto, how are you? Gladys, how are you? Thank you guys for watching. I'm always so grateful. Thank you so much for taking time to watch me. So I'm giving you personal examples why we end up in conflict all the time. Because now we want to change the whole situation. We just want to see this color. We don't want to see the original color. We want to see this color. We don't want to see this color. We don't want to see the circle, the red circle. We choose to see what we want to see. And we're in conflict. We are not taking our time to remember the good times. So after I had the children, I had to slow down. So my husband continued the club. What was I supposed to do? Sometimes I'll drop him and pick him. Sometimes I'll ask a friend to bring him. Why? Because I was feeding his club desire. Because why? That's how, we met and that's what we were doing. I didn't try to stop him. I'll tell him reduce. But that's what he likes to do. So now I found a way to drop him. I found a way to pick him. And he thrives in that. He thrives in hanging out with his friends. Because why? His background is like that. Nyandochebere background, we don't have time to go hang out and idle. No. Once in a while I can go. But I only stay there for an hour, 2 hours, I'm done. I cannot sit somewhere for 2 hours having like a good time. There's no good time unless I'm in a club. If I'm in a club, I can stay. But going to just hang out and just sit somewhere for more than 2 hours, no. Why? Because of my background, my values. I come from a village. We can't do that too long because tomorrow I have something to do. I have to wake up early. So that is conflict. Nowadays, Facebook gave us this thing where we can block people. You're in conflict with someone, you just block them. You remove them from your life. But if something happens to you, you still want to reach out to them for help. So people, I'm challenging you guys today. There is the truth. When there is a story, if you've not heard about Ngozi talks about the danger of a one-sided story. There is always your side. There is my husband's side, and then there is the truth. When people come to you, my husband can decide to tell his sister or his mother or his father that I started with blue. I tell my father-in-law I started with purple. And I tell my sister I started with black. We have 3 colors in this thing. And when we talk to people about what happened, when I call Mwikali to tell Mwikali what Abu did, we choose to see which one looks good to tell the other people. So when people call you with a conflict, they don't tell you their whole story. They choose which one looks good so they don't sound bad. And that's why when you're in conflict with someone, don't go on the negative. Start looking at the positive. Like me, let me tell you, when I fight with my husband, let me tell you guys, I have to remember he is the father to my children. Then I have to remember with this mouth, which man was going to put up. This one is already, in fact, it's not about the other person. When you're in conflict, it's not about my husband. When we start fighting, it's not him, it is me. You need to check yourself. Can you imagine this girl from your, this mouth is unstoppable. But somebody agreed to marry me. So I'm always, checking myself. This is great. He agreed to marry me and have children with me with all this rubbish I do with all the... Do you understand? He's still by my side. He's still loving me. Right? I never curse him. He has never cursed. It's 27 years. But you know why? Because that job I was doing at the group home taught me that once I get into conflict with this husband, I need to put brakes on myself. Because you know what? Once he throws me out with these 4 children, it's not good. It's a jungle out there. So now, I remember, this is like a client. Things are going bad. It's me. It's not my husband. It is you. Who's going to remember, this current situation here, these skills, if I blow this, I will never get it together. I'm the only one who knows the truth about my relationship. The outsiders, whether you tell them positive, negative, at the end of the day, you're the only one who knows. Imagine my 4 children. I lose the house. I lose everything that I have put together. I have children now with a beard. I have boys with a beard. I have a 20-year-old daughter. I have all these children. Anytime I'm in conflict with my husband, I try to see the good. And I keep it professional because you know what? What is it going to gain for me to stay professional at my job? And I cannot stay professional at my house. Especially me who's mouthy on Facebook. There are people waiting for you to just drop and you disintegrate into little pieces. People are saying, we can't wait for her to just... One time her marriage will end. And you know you are going to wait for a very long time because I have learned the way to solve conflicts. And yes, if my husband leaves, if he hits me, if I catch him cheating, if he disrespects me, no, I'm not going to stay with him, or because I don't want people to know that I was left. I will come here and update you that I left him. I will tell you I tried to solve the conflicts. Even the children, when I cannot solve conflicts with them, I offer them an exit. I'm like, you know what? If we can solve this problem right now, wait, we'll come back later. And my kids don't like that. Because I'm like, just go. We'll talk about this later. This is not a good time. You have to wait and calm down. I take pride in being able to resolve my conflicts in my house because I'm intentional. Because that's who I deal with. I deal with clients every day. You're not going to push clients to take a shower if they don't want to take a shower. You have to remember where you've come from and know that, you know what? This is my chaos here. He's bad. Don't wait for things to go crazy. And that's when you want to solve the conflict. So the rule, to finish this, because I wanted to take 30 minutes. I think I'm past 30 minutes. It's always a check, call, and care. Check yourself. Don't expect your person, your spouse, your children to be the ones to resolve the conflicts. Be self-aware. You are the person, you're in charge of yourself. I'm the one who knows my background. I'm the one who knows what I need from this marriage. I'm the one who knows what I need from my children. I'm the one who knows what I need from my place of work. I'm the one who knows what the customers give me. When I sell these things, by the way, my car is full here. I'm the one who knows why I have business. Everybody else that comes into my life, I don't have control over them. I have control over myself. I wake up with a planned day. I wake up with goals. I wake up with things I have said that I'm going to do A, B, C, D. My husband, my children, my friends, nobody will ever get in my head to know what plans I have. So when I'm in conflict with them, I'm telling myself, and I tell my kids, you're not going to make me to take blood pressure meds because I'm in conflict with you. I verbalize these words. I'm like, I'm in conflict with you, but don't put pressure on me, because if you put pressure on me, I'm going to start taking medication, then I'll die. And then if I die, okay, all the money that I've saved, you're going to eat it. All the life insurance, you're going to eat it. Hey. Don't stress me. I'm the one who's in charge of myself. I put those brakes. Anybody that comes, that's why people think that I'm mouthy. Anybody that comes into my life and wants to, anybody that comes into my life that wants to come into my space, I put brakes on them. I'm in charge of myself. I'm in charge of how I handle my conflict. I see people fighting at work and I look at them. I'm like, oh, they don't know when to stop. Check yourself. Care for yourself. If you need help, call a therapist. If you need help, call me. If you need help, call your mom. Call for help. Don't die. Because conflict is what's killing people. People cannot handle conflict. Remove all the things that are causing you pain. Because nobody can ever tell where this came from. You don't know. If you're just joining me, you don't know what color I put here first. I have 4 colors here, or actually 5, plus the red. I'm fencing these colors with red. You don't know what color came first. So I cannot start telling my husband, in Nyando Chebere, we don't go out and hang out every Friday. That's his background. That's what he knows. Nyando Chebere, all we do is work. There's no balance. You're hanging out. No. I'm not going to change him. He's not going to change me. I'm not ready to change. But I'm ready to meet him halfway. In 2012, I was having a family burnout. 2011, after I had my 4th child, I was having a burnout in my home. My husband was working in New York. And I was losing my mind. I was working as a supervisor. The job was driving me crazy. I was getting stuck at work. And work was following me at home. So I'd run home a couple times, and I was breastfeeding. A couple times I got stuck at work because nobody showed up. And I'm like, oh my goodness, the kids are home. There is no husband. And you know what? I resented my husband so much. I was just disliking him. But guess what? He left at home at 7. He didn't come back home until 8:30. Did he have control over that? No, he was working. But I was thinking, I'm like, he can find something to do. But if you left at 7 and you came home at 8:30, do you have time to do anything? No. Now I'm running from work 9 to 5. I'm coming home, making dinner, taking the kids for tuition. The children are small at that time. You're putting dinner on the table. He's walking into dinner every night. He walks into the shower, takes a shower, work and comes out. We used to eat at 8:30. We waited for him like just around that time. After that, the kids, I was teaching the children how to clean up. We'll clean up. Remember, the husband goes back to the couch because he wants to catch up on the news. And then I'll go and look at him like this. Me, I'm the supervisor of the children. I'm in charge. I'm the assistant CEO. The CEO is seated over there. And I was resenting him. I'm thinking like he should come here, we split these things. But he was tired. He was commuting for 2 hours a day. So anyway, I just came one day, I said, you know what, this is not cutting. I'm going to cut my spending. I'm going to start my own business. And you know what? This husband is just innocent. I quit my job. In 2012, I quit my job of June and I started my own business. And that changed the whole family thing. And I said, we are going to maximize on his money. And then I'll bring the little money. I went to work part-time and I've never looked back. This is 10 years ago. Changamoto, I've not seen you, man, because now, I don't see you on this page. Yeah, follow me so I can follow you. Changamoto, I miss you. Oh, you stopped dancing. Yeah, so I was intentional. I'm like, you know what? And this husband, with the kind of mouth I had, and 4 children, I didn't want to just leave him. You see? Because now I'm leaving him. I'm like, leaving him is not, that's what you're thinking, to run away from the conflict. But I didn't run away, I just stayed through. And here I am. And I'm here to encourage one person. Changamoto, my dear, you cheer me. I've not seen you dance. Hi, Toto. You're the people that have kept me going on Facebook, yeah? So guys, I gave you more than I needed to give you. So, learn how to solve your conflicts. Don't just start fighting people, cussing people, acting up. Check, call, and care. That's what you're supposed to do. So that way you can be as happy as I am. Right now I'm happy. I wanted to run away, Changamoto. Me, I was looking at my husband like this. When he's watching sports, I'm looking at him like, really? I didn't even know that's what I signed up for. Then I said, you know what? This man, I'm not leaving him right now. I'm just going to stay here and run my race. You understand? Look, and I'm saying, I met him, we used to club. I met him, then we used to drink. We used to smoke, not we. I met him, we were traveling. I met him, we were eating life. Now the children have come, now I want to run away. I said, I'm not running away. And every time I fight with my husband, to tell you guys the truth, I stay calm. He immediately turns into a client. Immediately. It doesn't take me long. I'll look at him, I'm like, oops, I'm at work. So, and then I start using good words. So, sweetie, what's the problem? I even reduce my voice, tone of voice. I'm trying to get results from him. And remember, my husband is attached to our housing. I'm giving a lot of information. He's the one attached to our housing. He's the one attached, he's funding my business, which is my children. So now I'm going to run away, put him in another house I stayed. And I'm running away because I have conflict. Do you understand? So before you run away, because women, we are always trying to run away. Yes, fighting is good. Changamoto, when you fight with your spouse, keep it respectful. Don't curse him. Don't call him names. Maintain your sweetie names. Maintain your respect. You will fight a very good fight. And every now and then, if he's the one, that thing he likes, or she likes, just remind them that what they might not get the thing. Like me, I like trips, and he's the one who books my trips. So he might remind me that what, soon your trips might be cancelled. Then I'll also find something like a little friendly threats working. Remind them of the good things that you do to them. That's if you're doing good things to your spouse. Some of you are not even doing good things. Some of you are just so bitter. Remember, when you met, you were just having a good time. Stay put in that good time. Don't just get up and just start forgetting everything that you did and you're still staying in the same house. No. Remind your spouse that, don't bring the chaos. Like now, I'm planning a trip next week. You guys are going to fly and high with me. From Thursday next week, I'm going to be flying high. I have so many things planned for the weekend, okay? And you know what? I want the whole household to be peaceful. So I have to avoid conflict right now. I have to be at my best behavior because I need things to go smooth. Always remember that if you need things to go smooth, find a way to resolve the conflict. Don't run away from the conflict. Don't abuse somebody because you're in conflict. Don't curse somebody because you're in conflict. Try to solve the conflict, especially somebody that you love. Don't succeed at your place of work and then you fail at home. Home is more important than your place of work. If you can keep yourself calm at work and keep it professional, do the same thing at home. Home is where your future is, not your place of work. Somebody that does, even the person who agreed to give you a sperm, the person that agreed to carry your child that you are called daddy, respect those people. Your children is your future, not your place of work. Your place of work can fire you anytime. You cannot fire yourself from your children. Somebody has agreed to fertilize you. Even that's when you're in conflict. Remember that they fertilized you. Just start with that. You can't love your children without remembering that somebody fertilized you. What if nobody fertilized you? Even being fertilized is something to be grateful about. Otherwise, you could have been here doing nothing. Somebody agreed. Remember that when you're in conflict, that this is my fertilizer. Hey, cheers, guys. I have to go. Let me go see the chicken. Today, the discussion was to handle conflict. So I'm giving somebody credit in Kenya. Let me see one person. Somebody put the number there. I have to give credit. Every time I have a sweet topic like this, especially romance one, I want to give somebody credit. Governor, I want to come here. Sit. Let me tell you, your fertilizer. Hey, you know when you're gardening right now, I'm gardening. Be grateful. Solve conflict with your fertilizer properly. The fertilizer is important. If you don't fertilize, I have this corn. I'm going to the garden today with my sister to fertilize this corn. Okay? It has something on it. I think it's fertilizer. So it can grow. Be grateful for your fertilizer. So I'm going to give Jay Onsare 1,000 shillings credit. And then I need another person to tell me the first color I put here, where it all started, and I end this video. Who knows where it all started? Put the color and put your name, and I'm going to send you credit. By the way, I'm not so broke. I'm on negatives. Yeah, my account is not doing very good, but I can spare $20 for my followers from Kenya. I need somebody to tell me the color. Put the color that I put, because you know where this story started. Where did this story start? 1,000 shillings credit. So you put the color that I put down first. There is purple, there is blue, there is black and lavender. So put the color, okay, and put your number. The one I'm going to see first, then I can send the credit, okay? Conflict resolution. Find a way to solve your conflict without cursing people out. That's what we learned today in class. Agnes Mudengi, purple. The money is there for you. Catherine, I will give Catherine too. So I'm going to lose $30. Catherine, actually, I won't give you. You know why? You did not follow instructions. I said put the color and the number. So you'll skip this time. Next time, be there. When I ask the question, be clear and specific. Identify the conflict. The conflict here, you didn't put your number. So Agnes, I'm going to do that in a split second. Cheers, guys, and thanks for watching. Please share this video, like my page, like my reels, guys. If you like my reels, this Friday I'm going to give 10,000 shillings to one person, but I will announce you. I will share your number. Once I send you money, I'm going to give somebody 10,000 shillings, one person, on Friday. I'm going to be, where am I going to be on Friday? On Friday, I'm going to be in New York. 10,000 shillings, $100 to one person. The people who are going to share my reels, you share my reels, and I'm going to pick one person and give them 10,000 shillings. When you share my reels, there are 60 seconds, tag me. Out of the people that are going to tag me, I will select one. Actually, I won't select one. My friend Doreen is visiting from Arizona. I'm going to ask Doreen to pick one lucky winner in New York, and I will announce that lucky winner in New York for 10,000 shillings. One person. So go to my page, like my page, share the reels. When you share the reels, tag me so I know that you did, and I'll put your names down. Cheers, guys.